Today I'm going to teach you how to make butternut squash pie. Look at that. Here we go. Okay, I'm going to start out with 2 cups of flour. This is for the pastry. And I'm going to use 2/3 cup of lard. And that's just about what I got left in this container. I just love a lard crust. And a teaspoon of salt. And the rest, I've made so many pie crusts, I'm just gonna build it, go click, and then we'll do the filling. So I decided to roll it out for you. I'm feeling guilty. I just feel like I've made so many pies that I don't wanna wear you guys out on the pies. So anyway, I'm showing you. I just love making pies. And this pie, I read that butternut squash pie is actually better than pumpkin pie. So I thought, well, I'm gonna try it. I've never done it before, but I thought, you know, why not? And I roasted that. Butternut squash a couple days ago for one of my other videos, and I didn't end up eating it, and I don't want to waste it, so I guess for somebody that's never seen one of my pie videos, I'm better off showing you how to do it. For all my other viewers, I'm sorry if I'm making too many pies. What you want to do is just gently roll it up. My sister-in-law, Ann, taught me how to make this big puffy crust, and everyone loves it. And then what you want to do is push it into the side so it holds up, like so. Get all the little crumples out, and then just use your fingers and do the edge. And you can tell when you push into it like this if it's a tender crust. If you've worked it too much, it won't even really do this for you. It's just like concrete. So you really don't want to overwork your crust. Okay, and like I've told you before on other videos, you want to make sure it's all inside the pie. You don't want any of that heat coming up and burning your... Okay, now we're going to start with the filling. Okay, now we're going to start with the filling. I've got my squash here that I roasted for 40 minutes on 400. And I'm going to put that in my smoothie maker. You can use a blender or a food processor. I do have a food processor. Maybe I should have used that. But anyway, so that's in there. And then I'm going to add 3 eggs. I hope this all fits in the blender. Maybe, well, I'll just put, and I have 1.5 cups of milk. I've got to put in there. I actually broke my other plastic cup and I found this at Dollar Tree, so I was happy. And I'm going to put a tablespoon of cornstarch in the milk. As you can tell, I'm not good at measuring with this. Okay. I'm going to whisk that in there. You always want to put cornstarch in cold stuff. So I'm going to put that in there. It might all fit. I might as well try. And then I'm going to put 3/4 cup of brown sugar. That was whole milk that I used. I don't know, I just thought this was a really good idea to use up that squash because I don't have my family here. And then I'm going to add 2 teaspoons of cinnamon. You can never go wrong with cinnamon. And then I'm going to use probably a 1/4 teaspoon of ground cloves. You don't want a lot. This stuff's pretty strong. Then I'm going to put in, this is my nutmeg. I'm going to put in a 1/4 teaspoon of nutmeg. I gotta find my ginger. Okay, I'm gonna put in 3/4 teaspoon of ginger. You want to make this spicy like a pumpkin pie. And then I'm gonna put in a teaspoon of salt, maybe 3/4 teaspoon. And 2 teaspoons of vanilla. Okay, I think I got it all. Looks like it's all gonna fit in there, so let's see what happens. Looks like pumpkin pie. Okay. I'm going to give it a stir. And then I'm going to add just a little tiny bit more of that cornstarch. Because I don't think I had a whole tablespoon there. It was too shaky. So I'm going to blend that up again. Okay. So I've got my pie crust, and I am going to give this a little taste. Tastes like it could use, I think I put 3/4 teaspoon of salt. I'm going to put another 1/4 teaspoon. Gotta taste stuff. Much better. Whenever you use sugar, always want to use salt. Pour that in. Look at that beautiful, beautiful pie. So what I'm gonna do, see, you want that big puffy crust to hold all that. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna put this in a 425 oven for about 15 minutes just to harden up the crust. And then I'm gonna lower it to 350 for maybe 50 more minutes. And we'll show you what we got. Okay, it's coming out of the oven. Look at that beautiful pie. And what you want to do to test it is you always want to stick it in. Oh, it's not done. 10 more minutes. I thought it was going to take 50 minutes. Might even take longer. We'll see. Okay, it's coming out of the oven again. I think it's finally done. See how it's nicely puffed up like that? That's what you're looking for. And hopefully this comes out clean. Yep. So what I'm gonna do is I'm going to let that rest for probably an hour. It's got to settle down and cool. And I did bake this 425 for 15 minutes, and I baked it for an hour and 10 minutes on 350. So you want to make sure it puffs up and the knife comes out clean. And again, I peeled and roasted that squash for 40 minutes on 400. And we're going to cut it in a minute. Okay, I let this cool for about 45 minutes. It's still warm, but I think we're good. So I'm gonna cut it right where it's split here. This smells really close to pumpkin pie. And you know, this time of year, a lot of you are getting squash in. So this is another good way to use it up. Oh my goodness. And I don't have any whipped cream or anything, but look at this beautiful piece of butternut squash pie. So that completes my little video. I'm gonna make a pot of coffee. Anyway, thank you so much for watching. And remember, there's nothing you can't do if you put your mind to it. And love the Lord with all your heart. Bye now.